Hi, this is going to give you a very clear instruction of how to assemble your To Kill a Mockingbird multi-genre project portfolio. First, a note about the two different fonts that you'll see in this slideshow. Arial fonts, like this one at the top, are for instructions for you, so examples and what have you. Or sorry, not examples, instructions. In fact, I'm starting over. Hi. This video is going to give you some clear instructions on how to format and assemble your To Kill a Mockingbird multi-genre project portfolio. First, a note about fonts. There are two different fonts you'll see here. One is Arial, like the one at the top, and that's for instructions to you, whereas Cambria, the slightly more elegant looking one at the bottom, is for examples. So when you see Arial font, think of those as notes for you, things you should not copy in your portfolio. Think of Cambria as a well laid out portfolio. That's how you want to make yours look. First, there should be a cover or title page. If you choose to use some sort of an artistic binder for the cover, make sure the information that you see on this screen shows on the front of that binder. On the other hand, if you choose to use a portfolio like a plastic, either clear plastic portfolio or an opaque plastic portfolio, make sure that when we open it, the first page we see looks just like this. The next page we see should be your table of contents. And notice that starting with the table of contents, we're going to have your last name and page number in the top right corner of every page. If you don't know how to format that on Google Docs, please see my other instructional video about putting page numbers into a Google Doc. Make sure you create your table of contents last. Once you've assembled all the rest of your documents and you have almost printed them out, then you can insert a page at the beginning that is the table of contents, and you'll make sure that the page numbers there match up correctly with the items on the left-hand side. Now, a note about the Discoveries page. This should be the second to last piece that you write. Of course, as I mentioned, the table of contents is always going to come last. This is where you reflect on your experience from writing the paper, or I should say from writing all of the elements that are in your multi-genre project portfolio. This could be the message that you got from the novel, from class discussions. It can also include things that you learned while you were doing this particular project, or maybe things you thought about in a new way. You also have to explain what your two favorite pieces were and why those were your favorites. You're also going to share that with the class when we present our portfolios on Monday. And always finish with a real-world connection at the end of your Discoveries page. So this is an example of how a good Discoveries page would be laid out. I've given the full example of the Discoveries page as a link on my website, so make sure you check that to see exactly how it looks. The next item is Genre 1, 3 songs. And notice there's the correct heading at the top. I've got my last name and page number, and then in bold, Genre 1, 3 songs, with an explanation of the first song that I will analyze. And you'll see that it's not complete. I've got the ellipses here after the first quote, The Pig Circus, which suggests that there was more that I wasn't able to fit on this slideshow. Then the lyrics, and an important point about lyrics. Don't simply copy and paste them off the internet, or worse yet, print them directly off an internet page. I do not want pages and pages and pages of lyrics. You will have to copy and paste them into your Google Doc and then shrink the font down small enough so that they fit on a single page. Now, in genre number 2 is my alternate ending. Again, correct formatting with last name and page number in the top right corner, the bold title up at the top, and then I can say exactly where it is that this would begin in the book, and I go ahead and write the rest of mine. And it does continue on beyond this. The next item is my letter to the editor, and this is the third genre. You'll notice by now that the first 3 genres are the big genres. I do want those to come first. Each of those should be between 1 3/4 and 2 pages long. You can go a little bit over if you really get into what you're writing, but don't go too far. Again, proper formatting, and proper formatting on the left-hand side here with who this is going to. We have the date over on the right-hand side, which is incorrect. I have to update that. And then the letter here, which as you can see from the ellipses at the bottom, it continues on, so it would be longer than this. Genre 4, I created a map of Macomb, Alabama, so I have to include this page with the correct formatting in the top right corner, my last name and the page number, but then the little parentheses that says to see the insert, and I will have to insert the map that I had hand-drawn right after this page. Finally, the last genre is my found poem. Again, formatted correctly, and in this case what I did with a found poem is that I found all these lines that came out of the book, and I just selected pieces of the lines and put each one in a separate line of poetry. That doesn't end here. Again, there's ellipses, just to let you know that this carries on for a full page. A few notes about assembling your portfolio. Make it look professional. If it looks sloppy, it's not going to impress anybody. So among the things that will make it look professional, as I've shown you in this example, first we have consistent formatting, so all the pages are laid out the same way. Secondly, as I mentioned, small font for the lyrics of songs. If there are page after page of lyrics, I'm going to mark you down for that. There should also be no errors, and I mean no errors. Periods should all be in the correct place. Every letter that should be capitalized must be capitalized. So check capitalization, double check your spelling, double check your grammar, and if you're really confused by the grammar, you can try this website, Grammarly.com. They have both a free version for checking grammar and they have a pay version for checking grammar. You can register for the free version and hopefully clear up most of your problems that way if you have any problems. And lastly, make sure your punctuation is correct. And as I mentioned, assemble this then with either some sort of a neat, clear portfolio, or it could be an opaque portfolio as long as it's neat, or you can create some sort of an artistic binder of your own or an artistic cover for the portfolio. Once you've done that, your portfolio will be ready to turn in. Make sure these are completed and bring them with you to class on Monday, and be ready to share parts of your 2 favorite genres. I'll see you then.
I'm sorry for